Hello, my name is Deanne Treasure Kellogg, and I'm an artist, illustrator, writer here to entertain you with some slideshow of my artwork and the reading of one of my books. And I'm not gonna tell you which one, but enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. And remember, Barnes and Noble, um, Amazon, ebook, or paperback, whichever is your preferred reading method. I know I personally like to read paperback or hardcover, but I do collect a lot of books on my little tablet because it's just so easy and convenient. But I'm rambling on. Here, enjoy.
Standing in an aisle of trees, Saparilla exclaims, "Wee Jubby! No way those humans are going to believe that sand walls suddenly sprouted up." "So what are you going to do?" Sogeili asked her. "I'm going to create a real barricade out of sumac." "But won't that hinder the Mador?" Saparilla scrunches her face. "Demada, I don't know." "Lady Rilla, I think we should do as we're told and go cover the counselors," Sogeili suggests, kindly putting a hand on Saparilla's shoulder, nodding his head, hoping that she will listen. "That is boring," she retorts. "I came to see the Nepals, to see action." Paro sent the larger animals away for the Mador. "It's just us. I rather like being alive," Sogeili says. Saparilla giggles. "Relax, so. Did you hear what Cairo said? They have one ship left. We have nothing to worry about. I'll go cover them in a minute. I want..." Saparilla stiffens, hearing a thrash suddenly coming through the tree line. Turning, they see a manic human falling to the ground with a heavy thud. They can hear another grunt a few feet away, followed by another thud on the ground. Saparilla stands frozen in shock, while the Nepal rises, bloodied and sand-crusted. The man panting, then grunts, gripping the arrow out of his side. His bastard sword comes up, seeing Saparilla visibly only partially covered with ironwood and poison oak. Saparilla squeals. Sogeili rushes forth in front of him with his single-edged blade drawn. Saparilla falls on the ground prematurely. In haste, Sogeili slams the blade, using both hands on the Nepal's iron breastplate. It makes a loud clash, but does little to slow the Nepal. Sogeili raises his weapon again, hearing another thrashing of footfalls behind him. Saparilla begins singing as she rolls away from the second angry Nepal's heavy blow. Sogeili quickly spins, blocking the new attacker's blow with a whacking of his exposed elbow. Then, without delay, brings his blade up, narrowly missing his vulnerable neck. The first Nepal kicks Sogeili in the back, growling, trying to get to Saparilla. Saparilla's song causes rapid growth. Spikes surround her as she agilely rolls up, escaping the menacing Nepal, if only for a brief moment. Sogeili is deft. He is blocking another heavy blow from his strong attacker in front of him, who stands 6 inches larger, with thickness well exceeding his own. The Nepal pursuing Saparilla realizes Sogeili is closer and exposed, seeing his back. Grinning, the Nepal swings at Sogeili unguarded. Back with an inside left. Sogeili grunts as he falls from the force, but his armor keeps him unmarred. The one in front of him takes advantage and strikes down at the prone Sogeili. Saparilla sends her oak vines as tendrils as fast as she can, wraps them around the arm of the nearest attacker. Unfortunately for Sogeili, it is the one behind him, and he receives a severe blow from the one in front. Sogeili's armor remains unpenetrated by the blade, but his chest feels crushed, and he desperately struggles to breathe. Saparilla's song is louder as she gets closer, sending her oak vines at the second attacker, wrapping them around his neck. The second attacker's eyes bulge. Red patches of his skin immediately swell and blister. But the first one has ripped her vines off. He glares at her and lets out a wicked laugh. Saparilla's eyes tear seeing him rise, striking with an inside right at Sogeili before she can counter. Unexpectedly, daughter tendrils wrap around the Nepal's wrist, then squeeze tight, causing him to drop his blade. What? Saparilla exclaims, peering at the tree covered with daughter vines. Her mouth is ajar and eyes wide when footfalls are heard behind the tree with the daughter plant. Alpine appears in the rush and rushes over to Sogeili. Can you move? He asks him, ignoring the bewildered Saparilla. Groan is too curious about Alpine stepping out, covered in his daughter plant. Ah, I knew it was you, Saparilla says, rushing over, throwing herself at Groan. Groan accepts her embrace warmly. He snorts. Didn't need me, huh? Ha! Thank you, she says in a coquetry smile, looking deep into his wolfish eyes. What about so? Groan asks, inquisitorily eyeing Alpine. Oh, yeah, Saparilla says, looking embarrassed, turning to Sogeili and Alpine. Sogeili's face is twisted, and he nods to Alpine. Here, Alpine says, shoving a wad of something sweet and sour into his mouth. Chew it well before swallowing. This will help with both pain and mending. You might have a few broken ribs, but you'll live. Oh, thank you, whoever you are, Saparilla expresses enthusiastically to Alpine, throwing her arms around him and kissing his cheek. Alpine blushes. Saparilla then kneels down beside Sogeili. I'm sorry. It was entirely my fault. She kisses his cheek gingerly. Sogeili groans as he tries to sit up, chewing feverishly. His eyes meet hers, discerning. He swallows loud. Is that... He pauses, wincing. Is that why no one would say anything about your last guard? He asks, sounding out of breath. Saparilla regards him, sweetly caressing his face. Sorry, she sighs, then stands and goes to the still Nepal, wrapped in her oak vines around him. Hearing the other struggle, she moves over to him, while the other elves watch. This one's hair is black as midnight, with curls wild and matted. His eyes squint a deep russet color, and pursed lips grisly chafed. His skin is flaked and cracked. They are ugly, Saparilla remarks. She then begins to sing, her voice soft as a lullaby. The Habdorians watch silently as her oak vine stretches. They begin to relish in the loveliness of her voice, and pay little attention to the frightened eyes of the Nepal being covered with poison oak. When she stops singing is when they inspect the Nepal. This one is unaffected, Alpine is first to point out to the rest. Saparilla responds disappointed. Groan remarks, eyeing the difference of the two. The other one reacted instantly, developing a rash and blisters. Perhaps your cousin Draconom's plan of using plants is not fully tested, Alpine suggests, rubbing his chin. Sogeili coughs and breathes heavily, trying to speak. I have seen it work, he manages. They all watch as he scrunches his face. This is the first time we know of it not working. Still, Alpine points out, it's not 100%. Only one way for sure, Saparilla adds. Test them all. She kicks him of Nepal in the head. That's for Sogeili. It is time to move, Alpine informs everyone. Can you walk yet? He asks Sogeili. Sogeili groans, standing weakly. Yeah, he assures him. Saparilla and Groan succor him. First, Groan insists, looking at Alpine. Who are you? I'm your guard, Here to keep you alive, Arpine declares. My mom, Groan exclaims. It was her, wasn't it? Why, yo, that sneaky Alphine. Yes, Lord Groan, Alpine confesses, bowing. I was sent by your mother, but I am a soldier, a corporal, before she made fit for me to get special training with the yo. My force, lore, and herbal training is to ensure your survival, and well, he adds, eyeing Sogeili, I just had to help out my fellow soldier. Now I have blown my cover, but for a worthy cause. Thank you, Sogeili tells Alpine. Don't worry, Alpine, Groan says. The mother. I am still upset, but tag along if you must. I know she was up to something. Of course, my mom and aunt are always up to something. What about him? Alpine inquires, noticing Nepal still wiggling in her vines. Bah! Groan explains. Leave him. We can come back later. I don't hear fighting. I want to check it out. What if he gets free? Saparilla asks Groan. He won't last long. Our forest is not friendly to outsiders. That's what the outside world says, Alpine agrees. They move along silently. When they hear the camp, Groan turns to the rest. I can't be seen here. Yes, Saparilla agrees. You two disappear. We got this, she says, looking over at Sogeili sympathetically. You look a lot better. Yes, Sogeili agrees. I can walk unaided, but I wouldn't mind your help, Rilla. He winks at her. Try not to get me into more danger, will you? Sure, she chuckles lightly.